School-based learning is an instructional strategy that's good for all students.
In an equitable classroom, the students' prior learning experiences, their language fluency, their reading level should not be a barrier to doing the project.
So what you want to think about as a project-based teacher is, how can I support my students regardless of where they're beginning this journey so that they all make progress toward learning goals?
You can't assume that students are going to know how to use success skills during a project, so that needs scaffolding too. For example, how to be a critical thinker, how to be a problem solver, how to use innovation skills, or how to work in a team.
It says how to be a part of this work team. And then there's going to be 3 steps. Step 1.
To scaffold inquiry in a project, use protocols and thinking routines to help students learn how to ask questions, investigate their questions, compare answers, and arrive at conclusions.
GOIL stands for Groups of Increasingly Larger Size. I really like that protocol because it allows for whole group consensus, but it keeps most of the class really engaged. You did the warm-up where you thought about what are some specific things that would determine if a revolution was effective. What does that even mean? Like, are there certain laws they need to pass? What needs to happen for a revolution to be effective? Now you're going to be in your first GOIL with your partner. In the top left-hand corner, you have 2 minutes to come up with 2 to 4 criteria of an effective revolution.
In one classroom, a teacher might have readers of very different levels. So she might design literacy stations where students are getting the support they need at the reading level where they're comfortable. So when you're planning the project, you want to think about, what challenges can I anticipate? Where might all students struggle? For example, if you're introducing some very difficult scientific reading at the start of a chemistry project, that's going to be hard for everybody. So how can I, as a teacher, scaffold that so that all students can access that content?
I want you to practice saying the names of these corrosive inhibitors. So find a pair.
Polyethylene glycol. Polyethylene glycol.
In another setting, you might anticipate that some students are going to be challenged because of whatever their learning issues are or challenges they might be facing. How can you be ready to support them so they can keep going? To help students reach those challenging goals, you're going to break the learning into some manageable chunks. So for example, in a social studies project, where students are investigating the sites that were important in their community during the civil rights movement, there were many learning activities that led to the final finished product that they shared with the public. They needed to begin by doing some serious reading, and there was some scaffolding and some literacy lessons to help them really engage with that text.
And then it tells me the story is called March. So why do you think the author did it that way?
To show you the point of view of how it started off when he was marching.
Okay, so you think he's giving us his point of view.
They thought about research. They thought about, how do we use artifacts from history? How do historians think about imagery to tell a story that we really want to be able to tell? They thought about citing their sources. They thought about using technology tools. Each of those scaffolded learning activities contributed to the successful product at the end, and students understood all along the way how what they were learning in that particular day was contributing to their success of the project overall. So the key to scaffolding is to both plan ahead and be ready in the moment to pull out those great tools that you have right in your back pocket and help students who are struggling or ready to stretch to the next level.